Welcome to my club's only run. We create a beautiful green man just as it is tradition and choose the deprived class to start with a club. As a gift, we choose the master key to be able to unlock certain areas. Just like in every run, we start at the undead asylum in the holding cell. We grab the key and open the door. Once we pass the asylum demon, we can go ahead and grab our things. We make our way halfway upstairs and quickly turn around to trigger the ball to break the wall. This way we gain access to Oscar, who will give us the Estus Flask. Finally, it is time for our first boss, the Asylum Demon. We start off with a plunge attack that removes around half of his health. Since his health is now so low, it will only take a few hits and a few dodges to defeat our first boss. Once in Firelink Shrine, we will collect souls, which we will then use to level up our strength. Next, we collect the Ring of Sacrifice. Although it is not necessary for the run, it is nice to have it so that we can keep our souls and humanity after our first encounter with Seath, which will kill us. We take a shortcut to avoid most of the enemies. We encounter the Black Knight, which we will kill by backstabbing and parrying him. He should drop a Titanite chunk, which will come in handy for upgrading our weapon later on. We run upstairs and avoid the fire barrel. Kill the crystal lizard to get some more chunks, and then finally start the fight with our second boss. We could kill the Taurus demon the regular way by just bonking him to death, but it is just so much more satisfying to make him fall off the arena instead. Next up, we avoid getting blasted by fire and go downstairs to lower the ladder. After successfully passing the bridge wyvern, we go ahead and start a barbecue. We collect the Firekeeper soul so that we can totally not forget to upgrade our Estus Flask later. We activate the elevator and collect the key that will grant us access to the last boss of the Undead Asylum. Unfortunately, our friend that once gave us the Estus Flask has turned hollow and is now our enemy, so we have to kill him. We collect the Rusted Iron Ring, which will help us traverse the waters in Blighttown much easier to collect our final weapon, the Great Club. As already mentioned before, we totally didn't forget to upgrade our Estus Flask. Now we kill Petrus, the NPC with the coolest haircut. After killing the last hollow and the channeler having fallen down, we try to finish him off with a plunge attack. Better luck next time. After taking revenge on the channeler, we have enough souls to level up strength and finally be able to use the Great Club. Before heading over to fight the gargoyles, we want to upgrade our Great Club to +3 since we do have the materials for it. At the start of the fight, we want to get the first gargoyle as far away from the bell tower. This will let us attack him freely without having to worry about the second gargoyle being too close once we kill this one. The second gargoyle starts with half of its HP, so it should only take 2 hits to kill it. Now it's time to ring the first bell. While we're here, we'll get rid of the next NPC just for fun. Before fighting the last boss in the Undead Asylum, we level up. We fall through the floor and encounter the Stray Demon. Unfortunately, we get stuck at his leg and die from the explosion. We try to stay behind him so that we can avoid his explosions and hopefully finish him off this way. We do not want to be too close to him once he comes back down because it creates a shockwave that can kill us. Once the fight is over, we do not only get souls but also a Titanite slab, which we will need to max out our weapon later on. While we are here, we grab the Peculiar Doll, which we will need later. With the souls we gathered from killing the Stray Demon, we'll buy the Crest of Artorias and upgrade our Great Club to +5. We kick Lautrec off the cliff so that he doesn't kill the Firekeeper of Firelink Shrine. We exit the game and load back in to collect the Ring of Favor and Protection, which Lautrec drops upon death. In Darkroot Garden, we activate the bonfire hidden behind the wall and use the Crest of Artorias to open the door next to it, which will allow us to fight Sif. Although we were thinking about killing Sif first, the Moonlight Butterfly is way easier and will grant us easy souls to level up even further. Since we don't use any armor, we need to be very careful to avoid the explosions so we don't die. A few more hits and the Moonlight Butterfly is history. Next up is Sif. Since we are not wearing any armor, we will have to watch out for his 360 attack, which if not dodged properly will kill us instantly. Standing below him, he usually does the trick, although he will jump away every now and then to get a better position to attack us. After a few dodges and hits, we finally finish him off. We not only get souls as usual, but also the Covenant of Artorias ring, which will allow us to fight the 4, or more realistically, the 5 kings. We almost forgot to kill this next NPC, which is or isn't Havel. He does deal a nice amount of damage and can even one-shot us. We are not prepared to find this out, so we avoid to give him any chance to hit us by backstabbing the living hell out of him. And upon killing him, we collect Havel's ring, which will give us 50% more equip load. In the Valley of Drakes, we can find the red Tearstone ring, which gives us a significant 50% boost in attack when below 20% health. Back in Blighttown, we reverse hollowing to let Man-Eater Mildred invade our world. There is no real reason for us to do so besides getting a few extra souls from killing her. On to Chaos Witch Quelaag. She is the next boss we need to kill to ring the second and last bell. Her attacks vary between her trying to hit us with her sword, jumping on us, making herself into a bomb, or just straight up vomiting pools of lava in her surroundings which stay present for some time. All of these attacks deal massive amounts of damage and therefore we need to try to dodge all of them. After finally finishing her off, we can move on to ring the bell. Before moving on, we go through an illusionary wall that will grant us access to the Chaos Covenant bonfire, which we can use to teleport here later. Our next boss is Ceaseless Discharge, which doesn't attack unless attacked first or by picking up the Gold-Hemmed Black set. You're able to kill him by attacking him the conventional way, or you can cheese him, which is an actual intended way to kill him. We pick up the set and wait for his attack to pass, after which we will try to avoid his next attack and run as fast as we can back to the Fog Gate. Once we get there, we stand next to it and wait for Ceaseless to catch up. Ceaseless will then jump and unfortunately hit us, which doesn't always happen. After that, we just hit him a few times before he falls off and dies. Next up, we buy the Residence Key to get some magic, which we will use for our weapon. We use a shortcut by first rolling onto a platform and later jumping to get to Lower Undead Burg. After killing some enemies, we open the door with the Residence Key to free Griggs, who will give us the ability to buy magic spells from him. While we are here, we should probably try to kill the Capra Demon as well, but not before getting backstabbed. We enter the Fog Gate, dodge the first attack and try to kill the dog, which we miss. We dodge a second time and finally get him. We stay close to the Fog Gate since there's a second dog that will only aggro and join the fight if we get closer into the tiny arena. Killing the Capra Demon will grant us access to the depths. After finishing him, we go take care of the last dog, just for fun. Since we defeated the Capra Demon, some new NPCs spawn at Firelink Shrine, and because we killed Petrus, who these guys are connected with through a quest line, they automatically become hostile towards us. At this point, we are already strong enough to not have to worry about them. We head to the depths, kill some enemies and then collect the large ember, which will let us upgrade our weapon to +10. After we get rid of Master Splinter, we get ourselves into red Tearstone ring health and move on to our next boss fight with the Gaping Dragon. The Gaping Dragon is pretty easy to dodge, but we still have to watch out for his movement, since he can damage us just by strafing us with his legs. And since we didn't kill the Channeler before starting the fight, he will cast magic attacks against us, which we also have to dodge. In this scenario though, we just try to keep at the entrance of the arena so that we can't get hit by the spells and can easily finish off the boss. We give the large ember to Andre and upgrade our weapon to +7. In Sen's Fortress we use a shortcut to get to Master Logan and free him to enable us to buy magic spells from him. At the top we jump over the broken path to get the elevator key, which will let us skip most of Sen's Fortress later on in case that we need to. Before fighting the Iron Golem, we want to take care of the giant on top of the tower, who else will throw firebombs at us during the fight and make it a miserable experience for us. Once again, we get our health low enough to activate the red Tearstone ring. Fighting the Iron Golem is always intimidating, since you really have to try to dodge his attacks. One of his attacks can grab you and it might end up with you being thrown off the arena towards your death. Fortunately, the devs made it possible to defeat him in only a few hits. By causing a certain amount of damage in a short amount of time, you can make him wobble, and after a few more hits, make him fall off the arena himself. With the recently acquired souls, we buy some large Titanite and take the elevator downwards. At Andre, we can now finally upgrade our weapon to +10. We of course could go on to fight more bosses, but instead we go down to the New Londo Ruins. The reason for this is that we want to upgrade our weapon to +15, which is the max upgrade we can reach. For this, we first have to traverse some areas and kill some ghosts until we are able to reach Ingward. This NPC gives us a key to lower the water in New Londo Ruins. This only happens if we already killed Ornstein and Smough and placed the Lord Vessel. Since this didn't happen, we will have to kill him to get the key. Now it is just as simple as opening a door and lowering the water. We now need to increase our drop rate by consuming 10 humanity and equipping the covetous gold serpent ring. The increased drop rate will help us collect large titanite chunks from the dark wraiths. To get our weapon to +15, we also need a titanite slab. Thankfully, we got one from the Stray Demon at the Undead Asylum. We get the very large ember and give it to Andre. Now we can upgrade our weapon to +15. In Anor Londo, while traversing the rafters, we destroy the chain holding the chandelier. This will let us pick up the great magic weapon Sorcery, which we can use to further increase our damage. We get rid of the Silver Knight and finally reach the inside of the cathedral. We take a shortcut and as usual lower our health to activate the red Tearstone ring. Fighting Ornstein and Smough is pretty fun, but since we're low health, we are constantly one hit away from dying. Needless to say that this took a few tries to win. We first want to kill Ornstein, since Smough is easier on the second phase. It takes us only 2 hits to kill him. Although we prefer to fight Super Smough, it still won't be easy. We constantly use the pillars as protection so that he won't kill us with a charge attack. We slowly remove his health by triggering his attacks and responding with 1 hit every time until he is finally defeated. We can now open the chamber of the princess and kill her to get the Lord Vessel. At least that was the plan. We get the Lord Vessel the conventional way and let her live, for now. Back in Firelink Shrine, we don't have enough intelligence to buy anything from Master Logan. We buy some poison throwing knives for later, consume some souls, level up intelligence to be able to use the magic weapon spell, and lastly buy the lingering Dragoncrest ring to extend the sorcery duration. Back at the chamber of the princess, we kill Princess Guinevere to bring darkness to Anor Londo. That way we can get to the next boss without having to find a ring first. Gwyndolin is a pretty straightforward boss. He stays as far away from you as possible and uses ranged attacks. We get ourselves to red Tearstone ring health again, then start to fight him properly. Once we get next to him, he teleports further away and we have to run to him again. After a short while, we finally kill him, finishing the last boss of Anor Londo. Remember the great magic weapon? Yes, we forgot to get it and we could have used it some time ago. We interact with the painting that brings us to the painted world of Ariamis, which we can only access thanks to the peculiar doll from the Undead Asylum. To be able to fight the next boss, we first have to get to this area which is filled with bone wheels. These enemies are horrendous and deal huge amounts of damage. We pull the switch that opens the next area for us and try to escape our inevitable situation by dying. Upon entering the boss arena, we meet Priscilla, who doesn't attack us unless attacked first. With the red Tearstone ring already active, we use the Great Magic Weapon spell to prepare for the fight. Once she is hit, she becomes hostile and turns invisible. Since our health is low, we are not allowed to get hit once. Thankfully, we can see her footsteps on the ground and are lucky enough to not get hit a single time. We hit her once and bring her out of invisibility and finish her off with a total of 3 hits. We finally place the Lord Vessel to be able to teleport and access new bosses. Now it is time for the Duke's Archives. We kill the first and then the second piggy, and remember that we forgot to kill the Hydra to be able to collect the broken pendant to access the DLC later on. We activate the lever to get all the way up the Duke's Archives. We kill the Crystal Knight, we equip the Ring of Sacrifice so we don't lose anything, and we encounter Seath the Scaleless, who will kill us so that we can enter the next area. We spawn inside of a cell. To escape, we simply bonk the snake on the head to get a key. Upon our escape, we go all the way down and find Master Logan inside of a cell. It is important for us to free him again, so that we can get not only more spells but also some loot, which we can get later on from him. After reaching the bonfire, we activate it and rest on it, so that we can teleport here later with a homeward bone, since the bonfire in the previous cell doesn't allow us to teleport. We collect the key to free Logan and go all the way back to open his cell. We buy the Crystal Magic Weapon, which we can't use at the moment but will come in handy later. To kill Seath, we first have to destroy the Primordial Crystal that allows us to damage him. Instead of just breaking it, we wait for him to get close enough to trigger an attack. Once triggered, we run behind him and wait for him to destroy his own crystal, which will make him throw a tantrum and give us valuable time to deal damage. We are able to kill him just before his crystal breath kills us. And so we defeat Seath the Scaleless. After some much needed soul farming in the painted world of Ariamis, we are finally able to buy every last spell of Master Logan. This has the effect of him leaving this area and becoming completely mad. We go back to the starting area of the Duke's Archives and go to where we first encountered Seath. Here he will be hostile towards us. After killing him, we get some loot, of which I am mostly interested in the Ting Crystallization Catalyst. Remember that we forgot to kill the Hydra? Well, we fortunately remembered to go back and kill it. We simply cut off a few heads until it dies. Now we need to kill the Golden Crystal Golem to free Dusk and talk to her. Now we can go back to the Duke's Archives and kill the Crystal Golem to get the broken pendant, which gives us access to the DLC content. It's finally time for us to fight the Four Kings. Since we need to use the Ring of Rhetorius to be able to walk in the Abyss, we can only use one ring. In this case, we will use the Lingering Dragoncrest ring and not the red Tearstone ring, since this boss has some attacks that we can't avoid with certainty. The most important thing in this fight is to try to kill one king before the other one spawns, or else it will become a tough fight for us. Thanks to the damage that we deal, this won't be an issue and the fight is soon over. Next up, we go back to the Demon Ruins to fight the Demon Fire Sage. Just like the Stray Demon, this one also has attacks that explode. It is pretty much a copy of the Stray Demon. The arena is a bit smaller than the one in the Undead Asylum, but we can still use the same strategy of trying to stay behind him to avoid explosions and hitting him from the front only when he does a flying attack. It doesn't take long to finish this boss as well. Right after the Demon Fire Sage, we get to fight the Centipede Demon. His arena is filled with lava and the area that we can fight him on is very small. While fighting him, we cut off one of his body parts that can attack us even though it is detached from its body. After killing that part, it drops the orange charge ring, which upon using lets us walk on lava by taking only very small amounts of HP in the process of walking over it. Since we don't manage to kill this boss the first time, we can at least now equip the ring to let us fight him on the lava. This way the fight becomes much easier and we can actually just spam attacks on him until we defeat him. The next boss needs no introduction, the Bed of Chaos. Unless you know how to traverse his arena without issues, this one is probably the worst boss in the game. The boss has 3 phases and every time we completed a phase we died. The ground breaks. There are fire attacks from above and from below. He can hit and swipe you with his enormous hands. The only way to damage him is by destroying specific areas and finally killing him. The only positive thing I can say about this boss is that after you die, the phases stay and don't revert. Finally, after many deaths, we managed to get inside and kill him. To fight Nido, we first need to prepare a few things. We start by getting the Skull Lantern, which we will trade with Snuggly at the Undead Asylum by dropping it on the nest. After exiting and reloading the game, we will receive the Fog Ring in return, which makes us much harder to see. We then kill Grix, who upon death will drop his Slumbering Dragoncrest Ring, which makes our steps silent. After having done all of this, we go back to the Catacombs and use a shortcut to get down faster so that we can fight Pinwheel. Pinwheel is an extremely simple boss, and since we deal loads of damage, it only takes 2 hits to kill him so that we can move on. When encountering Nido, there are usually skeletons that assist him, but since our fall into his arena was silent and we are invisible, they won't come close to us. We need to try to stay far enough as to not to trigger any of the skeletons to come to his aid, and just wait for him to come close to us. He does have an attack that can hit us from very far away, and it is very hard to time the dodge. Fortunately, it doesn't deal crazy damage, but it does poison you. Alone he is not as hard to fight, although he does have a grab attack and an AoE attack that deals a decent amount of damage. After defeating him, all the other skeletons in the arena die and we can safely interact with the bonfire to teleport us out of here. Now we have defeated every boss but the final one, so it's time to head over to the DLC area. The first boss that we have to fight is the Sanctuary Guardian, who has very fast attacks and uses lightning from far away. It is best to keep some distance and wait for him to do a ranged attack and quickly counterattack him afterwards. Overall, he can deal a lot of damage and even poison you with his tail attack. With a little bit of patience, he can be defeated fairly easy. Next up is Artorias. We do know his attack patterns pretty well, so we decide to use the Red Tearstone Ring again. This far into the run, we are already able to deal such big amounts of damage that we are able to stun Artorias out of his AoE attack, which also boosts his damage, with only 2 hits. It almost seems like the rest of the run was going to be easy, since this fight went so well. So now we are here, fighting Manus. After the first fight with him, we already got a reality check. We forgot how much damage he dealt and how squishy we actually were. We died so many times against him, and at one point we were even 1 hit away from killing him, but messed it up instead. It became extremely stressful once he started using magic, since reading the type of magic attack wasn't easy and we got hit multiple times. At the end we were met with the same 1 hit away from victory situation, where we almost hesitated but decided to either attack now or never. This time it paid off. The last boss that we are left with in the DLC is Kalameet. To fight him, we first need to get the crest key by killing a mimic to open the door to speak with Go. After going through some dialogue, he will shoot down Kalameet so that we can enter the arena to fight him. After defeating Manus, Kalameet seemed very easy. It also helped that we already knew his attacks very well, so that we knew when and when not to attack him. Our only regret was not trying to get his tail. So here we are now, at the end of the run. We just need to kill Gwyn to end it all. He starts with his usual jump attack, which we parry and counter. This, by the way, is the only boss in the game that you can parry. After he stands up and gets ready to swing his sword, we just parry him a second time and punish him for trying. He deals a huge amount of damage, but we just deny him that pleasure and with 1 last hit remove him from existence. Overall, this run was very fun and took a little bit of planning, even though we forgot some things on the way. This is the first run of my channel as well, and since the word bonk is in the channel name, I decided it was just fitting to make a run with only clubs. I hope that this run was enjoyable to watch and that you stick around for the next challenge run. Please remember to subscribe, like, and leave a comment if you want to see more. Thank you for watching and see you next run.